Estamos on the line. Estamos on the line. Continuar.
That note cuts straight to the heart of things, don't it?
The Bastion. Para sua rapariga.
Finding gourmet ingredients ain't easy these days, but we'll take what we can get. The note says it plain. Zia, go east to learn the truth about the calamity and our people. I'll be waiting. Sincerely, Zulf.
Zulf.
It ain't too late to unlock the potential of this place. The arsenal's complete, in case we need protection. Zulf's messenger was one of his people. Wonder just how many of them survived, and what exactly Zulf told him.
Acho que vou continuar com esse... Deixa eu ver... A carabina... Carbine. Vou continuar com essa aqui. E era isso.
A hammer and an army carbine. When I was a fighting man, I used the very same. The shards are getting harder to find.
The shards. Fazer esse bônus.
Caelandia's army only took the best, and the best of them trained on Trigger Hill. The Triggers believed they were nothing without their rifles. Nothing beats the feel of shooting a Caelandian army carbine. Sometimes you had to take care to steady your shot. The Triggers had clearance to modify their guns however they chose. Some felt the course was too easy, so the Triggers spiced things up a bit.
Ainda tem o rifle, rapaz.
Takes time to be a fast shot. Go figure.
Caralho, que merda, hein? Tá bom, vambora.
His ears must be ringing after all that shooting. Not everything blew up in the calamity. Why, Colford Cauldron here blew up way ahead of its time. The cauldron boiled over some 300 years ago.
Caralho, sabia que podia.
They say it filled the skies with ash and the lakes with molten rock.
Os bichos não morrem, cara. Ah, é só quando é pro olho.
If you wanted to survive something like that, you had to learn to adapt.
Só quando abre os olhos.
So in a way, the beasts of the wilds, they're all survivors too.
Ai, meu Deus.
It takes a certain stubborn pride to keep on living in a place like this. As for us, we learned an awful lot from Colford Cauldron.
Caraca, outra arma, tio.
Led to some interesting inventions. The raw power of the world fell right into our hands.
Pensa numa arma ruim. Morreu aqui, rapaz.
Can't fault our people for their natural curiosity now, can you?
Caralho.
Sure, we dusted off a good many secrets out here.
Essa arma é muito ruim, cara.
We discovered other things we're better off not knowing. The taste of air so hot it sticks to your lungs.
Ah.
All sorts of awful things crawling underfoot.
Tá só defendendo. Meu milho, eu vou matar esse um.
You can cook those things, but you can't eat them.
Tô fudido, rapaz.
The more ash we swept aside, the more light we found. It's awful hot. Place as inhospitable as they come.
Caraca.
After all, when we look down inside Colford Cauldron,
Vou fugir daqui, meu irmão.
look down through all the smoke and flames. We saw in there the heart of the world. to have it. As for the kid, he just has to get that shard out of there. Too bad taking that thing woke up every last stink eye from here to Charleston Fog.
Botar fogo na mata.
Kid's thinking he's got to trek all the way back around the cauldron. Luckily, the cauldron cooked up a little shortcut for him.
Ali pra chegar aqui, fugir
Sure,
agora.
it ain't the most convenient path.
Lento, velho. Vambora, meu irmão.
Biggest stink eye he's ever seen's waiting for him on the other side. Pops open on him like a pebble on a school day. Where there's one stink eye, there's always more. The cauldron's tenants all gather up to bid the kid a fond farewell. Kid don't shed any tears for him though. With a good spyglass, you can still see the cauldron from the city. But all the fires died out. There's nothing left of it.
Não mente.
He comes back looking like the inside of a chimney.
Chimney.
The shard works like a charm. You can hear the monuments.
Caralho. Caralho. Primeiro subscribe da live, mano.
When one type of firepower ain't enough, there's
Guilherme.
always the carbine and the bellows.
Guilherme. Famoso bumbum guloso. Thank you very much. Ah, é o primeiro subscribe da história. Eu vou fazer história no Hall da Fama das lives. Só apareceu alerta porque tava embaixo o bagulho. Que merda. É, mas se vem, se tu renovar, vai aparecer o alerta. Então, né, recomendo você.
The memorial may be finished, but our part is far from over.
É...
We spotted a pecker carrying a shard to Mount Zan.
Bom que todo subscribe aqui ganha um pack de pé. Vou passar no river. Tem um pack de pé meu e do Gai. Pack de pé de milfo.
Can't rightly call Mount Zan the mountain anymore.
Como assim, a alface do diabo?
There's no more mountains now. There's no place left for the beasts of the wild to go. So they figure they'll hold out right here on a slab of mountain the Calamity forgot.
Já entrei levando pirocada. Cara, não vejo porra nenhuma, cara. Pensa no bicho chato, viado. Ah não, velho. Ah, é. Falou. Caralho, que fase chata é essa, tio?
Good thing for those beasts the Calamity saved leftovers. We only found their little lair because they found themselves a little shard.
Dark Souls multiplayer? Que adianta, cara? O cara apanha mais que esse bicho sozinho.
Creatures of the wild, they've been building a bastion of their own. It's a delicate situation.
Terminar esse que a gente joga um Borderlands até zerar. Ah não, cara.
Those beasts been hoarding all the valuables they could find. Best thing we can do for those beasts right now is put them down quick and clean.
Capô!
Even if the beasts of the wilds won't like it.
Uma merda também, né? Puta que pariu. Eu vou ter que sentar um cavalo no chão pra usar. Até essa porra chegar, meu, os bonecos.
Look at it this way. It's either them or us. But if we win, they win too. Our bastion is everybody's game, not just ours.
É, o negócio não é tão ruim. É ruim.
Unfortunately,
mas não é
there's
tão.
no explaining that to a simple beast. Those beasts been hard at work fixing up the place.
Eita porra.
They've been searching for cores and shards, just like we have.
Caralho, eu caí.
They've rounded up their survivors, just like we have.
Não sei o que eu tô fazendo, não. Toma, caçando passarinho.
Maybe they've thought about turning back, just like we have.
Te achei.
We just really need their shard. Kid got it fair and square.
Meu Deus. Ai.
That's the way.
Os bonequinhos mataram os caras tudo, velho. Enquanto eu errava os tiros. Caralho, eu sou um merda, meu irmão.
He's done what's best for him, don't you worry. Don't you worry.
Don't you worry.
We'll all be better off once the Bastion is complete. The monument's getting better. Zolf sure did a number on it, though.
Aí, tamo bem, tamo bem.
We need an awful big lost and found under the circumstances.
Esse poder aqui ele é bonzinho. Mas... vou pegar minhas pistolas de novo. Vou pegar minhas pistolas.
A pair of slinger pistols is just the ticket if a hammer's too slow. Just a couple shards left. The quarry's gotta have one, right?
Tem só aquela fase pra baixo ali, ó.
Imagine everything you'd need to build a city like Zealandia. It takes hard work and planning, and it also takes a burstone quarry. The Ura tunnels beneath the quarry must have softened the blow from the calamity.
Sou pistoleiro, rapaz.
We bought the whole place from the Ura on the cheap. Same goes for its natives, rattletails.
Some bom.
Why would the Ura put up with those pests? Rattletails ain't the worst of it either, but more about that in a little bit. The quarry came with a lifetime supply of windbags. Windbags smaller than the naked eye can see are nesting in those rocks.
Olha os bichos pegando.
But there was even more to it than that.
nos vídeos ajudam pra caralho.
Not only are these rocks a source of life, we found that the oldest ones remember things. They're recording everything, all the time, taking it all in.
Ele vai matar todo mundo.
No wonder all those beasts were drawn to the quarry. The rocks were calling them. Keeping the quarry free from pests turned out to be a problem. Rattletails kept tunneling in and snacking windbags. Without those windbags, the quarry might not have its special qualities. Even stink eyes started taking root in here. Now, why would the Ura sell off such a fascinating place? The Ura always were a superstitious lot. Might be the gods told them the quarry's bad news.
Isso que dá um caos, cara não cala a boca.
On top of that, you know the Ura hated anything above ground. Might be the quarry just got too much sunshine for their liking. In any case, it's fair to say the quarry was a godsend. Those rocks, all polished to a mirror sheen. The largest ones, you know as cores. A single core could keep the lights on in an entire city district.
Mas tá chato, tipo.
The smaller ones, we call them shards.
Eu já sei que esses olhos verdes dão comida.
The shard's got a fraction of the core's power, enough to fuel a voyage to the motherland. Remember how I said rattletails ain't the worst thing in the quarry? That honor goes to a beast we took to Colin, Sir Lunky. Massive things stomped many of our boys. We just couldn't get rid of him. The only thing harder than the rocks burst in the quarry is Sir Lunky's head. His big fat rump's plenty tough too, but so is a kid. Hard times in the quarry these days. We never could get stubborn old Lunky to leave the quarry alone.
Atacado, bicho lá na puta que pariu.
Then the kid hears a voice calling from down the hall. Are you all right? It says. It's him. I've come to warn you, he says. The Bastion is under siege. Let it fall. You should not go back. Kid hears him, but he ain't about to be deterred.
Por mim eu dava uma marretada na cara dele.
If that's the way it is, he says, then I won't stop you. Because my countrymen will. Say what you will about Zulf, but he's a man of his word. Parsi. His countrymen don't much care for pleasantries, though. Zulf showed him the way here, and here they came to take revenge.
Eu larguei todos os bichinhos dele achando que era um boss, cara. Puta merda, gastei os bichinhos.
They got inside the Bastion and shut the door. Kid's gotta go in through the back. I should have told him sooner about all this. To make matters worse, seems the Ura took the girl.
Let's go.
Unfortunately, they broke in and they started digging their hole. Something wrong sprung out of those holes, and it's eating away this place. We tried to stop them, but we needed help. Somehow, some way, he sends those Ura packing. Problem is, it didn't matter. Zolf's plan worked. We find each other as the dust settles. Then I tell him why the Ura came. To get us back. For the Calamity. It was Caelondia's master plan to wipe the Ura out. But part of that plan backfired, didn't it? If only Zolf knew the whole story.
Caralho, quando a gente começa a melhorar, o bagulho piora, tipo.
What were we to think? They must have got her, taken her back to her rightful home.
Cê é louco, cachoeira.
The shards can put this disease in remission, but there's only one cure. We need to finish what we started. Seems the gods recommended this place to all their friends. Now all we need is one last shard.
Posso esquecer de upar aqui também.
Black rise like hot pineapple chowder on a cold day. Brings back memories.
Ah, viado, nem sei o que comprar. Ixi, difícil, hein? Acho que esse de ignorar a armadura é muito melhor.
He put some finishing touches on the business end of that thing.
Ele sempre vai ignorar a armadura. Aquele outro de partida tá com a parada.
The slingers, the wilds were their calling. The sanctuary. If we can build, we can rebuild.
Rebuild.
The Ura swooped down from the east. At least now we know the way. One last shard. It's all we need to put this mess behind us. And mother, what a mess it is.
Duvido muito.
A mess like that could have only been made by hand. Zolf said the Calamity failed, and he's right. The Uras stand as living proof of that.
Chato, viu? Puta de la freira.
At the heart of the Calamity was a simple idea. We never wanted to go to war again. Wanted to rule it out. Put a lot of folks against that problem. Scientists, soldiers, spies, even me. We sought solutions far beyond the city. We traveled near as far as the kid's going right now.
Pegar os dinheiros. Pau pra esse boneco.
Most of our efforts didn't bear fruit.
Eu já tô apanhando pra esse joguinho aqui, mas já tá solto.
Then there was a breakthrough, but it didn't come from one of our a brilliant young scientist named Ven.
Bora dar rolê.
Ven worked for the Mancers, the sharpest knives in the city's drawer.
Pula, pula. Ah, desgraça.
With his help, the Mancers devised a way to seal the Ura tunnels shut in a flash. Just like that, every last Ura living in the Tassel terminals will be gone.
Caraca, que bizarro, o cabrão dormiu. É voyeur.
This discovery was never to be used, they said, except as a last resort.
Nossa, mesmo. Tem que aprender como é que eu faço pra empurrar os caras. Eu faço sem querer e os caras caem.
But Ven didn't like being manipulated. He had plans of his own. He sabotaged the Mancers' little science project, set it to blow up in their faces. Imagine how Ven must have felt when it finally made him pull that trigger.
Caiu.
But remember, the Bastion can fix everything. We just need that shard.
É, sei. the base. Calma aí. Ai!
It's too bad the Ura ain't exactly been willing to collaborate on that front. Choice but to pick up where the Calamity left off. First things first, though. There's someone we figured needed rescuing. Zia.
Zia.
The Ura fell back, no doubt planning the next move, but we knew ours already.
Ela roubou meu diamante, caralho. Tem um pack. Pegar esse bagulhete aqui.
We haven't lost everything, long as we have that. There's something we had to do before going after that last shard.
Let's go.
Well, now it's personal, ain't it? It's personal for him, and it's personal for me. They never saw him coming. He gets his hands on the care package I sent him. It's a little something I've been fixing up in my spare time.
Não lança foguetes. Tem que carregar, né, mesmo?
Found a way to keep the Calamity from spreading through Sultan's Hollow. They got their own security and everything. Pretty fancy.
Cara, no vídeo só mata.
They've got these conductors that are all what's keeping the place together. Break enough of those things and the Calamity rocks slink back into the ground. Those rocks are like tumors, the same kind the Ura planted in the Bastion.
Dinheiros.
Well, the Ura must be in a panic right about now.
Caraca. Vou continuar com essa porra aqui.
They even sick their little rattletail pets on the kid. others are just a bump.
Esse bilhete é muito apelão.
By now, every Ura from here to the terminals must know he's in town. Most of the Ura's conductors are squared away in the middle of the hollow. They're easy targets. Onto their barricading. After all, their homeland's not much farther. Those calamity rocks must be eating that place apart from the inside. Some of them are downright bewildered by what's happening.
No meio da cara, só pra deixar tudo.
Maybe they know they've lost this, lost to a kid.
É bom atirar nos outros ou desgraça?
They underestimated us. Had us pegged all wrong. Yes, our people caused the calamity, but here we are trying to fix it. That makes us different from our people now, don't it? Shame the opportunity for civilized discourse is over.
Deixa eu ter uma escada aqui.
Suppose old Zolf should have got to know us better. As the hour grows desperate, the Ura bring out their big guns. There's nothing standing in his way no more. Way out there on the edge of the world, that's where he finally finds you. But it ain't like Prosper Bluff this time. Ain't nothing for this gal to sing about now. Zia, you weren't kidnapped. No, ma'am. You just had to see what happened to the Ura. To your own people. You had to see if everything Zolf wrote to you was true. Sure you didn't drop that twangy thing on purpose? Just to see if he'd go after you?
Safadinho.
The country, she's all to pieces now, but still looking good. The power of the calamity ain't well understood, but a hammer sure is. Part of the rippling walls floated by, so I caught the kid's old knapsack.
Ó.
It's hard to sleep easy these days, what with everything that's happened. Zolf, very soon the kid's gonna have to face that man again, for the last time.
Se eu soubesse que ia sonhar, nem tinha dormido. Tem uns pesadelos cabulosos aí.
They met on the worst day of Zolf's life. There in the Hanging Gardens, he aimed to throw it all away. It wasn't the first time Zolf had nothing to lose. He was born to a simple Ura couple who didn't last long before plague took him.
Morrer, cara.
He grew up hungry in the tunnels of the Tassel terminals, so he took to stealing from a Ceylonian missionary living there. He once got sloppy with his thieving hands. The missionary caught him, but didn't rat him out. Instead, he offered to take him in. That missionary raised Zolf like a gentleman, like it was his own son. Taught him theology, history, and mercy. When the missionary passed away, Zolf promised to continue his work to bring about a lasting peace between the Ura and Ceylandia. Zolf started teaching the missionaries wisdom to any Ura who would listen, and listen they did. He advocated tolerance and argued that the Ura should atone for the war. He believed the city had much to teach his people.
12 que falta, putz. Tinha passado umas 10.
However, Zoe felt he could only do so much in the Tassel terminals. He needed Caelondia to know the Ura had changed. He decided to do what the missionary did many years before. He left the city of his youth to brave a savage land.
Pensa um bicho chato.
The journey was hard, but he knew how to fend for himself. And then at last, Zolf saw the rippling walls on the horizon.
Pelo menos eu tenho meus Pokémon. Meus Pokémon.
He endeared himself to city folk straight away, and in turn he fell in love with the city and its people. One in particular. This young lady was fascinated by the Ura, but she never met anyone like Zolf. She told him she knew all the city's best-kept secrets. It's all right. The Hanging Gardens was their favorite spot. It was there that Zolf clasped her hands and proposed in proper Caelondian style.
Acabou os Pokémon.
He celebrated with his friends long into the night. Joy and revelry like he'd never seen. Too bad he couldn't remember it all. Don't worry about it. He woke up alone underground inside the Ura Caelondian War Memorial, built like an Ura den. But something was wrong. emerged from that hole in the ground into a waking nightmare. Everything that wasn't gone was twisted upside down.
Ele a mana, não tem a vida.
Frozen, hair thick with ash. What few faces he saw on the street stared back at him with gray, vacant eyes. Wife-to-be asleep inside her home, but when he reached out to her, she joined with all the ashes in the sky. Story don't end well anyway.
Caralho, pô, que pare chato.
The calamity took everything from us. Might be it took even more from Zolf.
Puta que pariu. Tudo de novo.
They met on the worst day of Zolf's life. There in the Hanging Gardens, he aimed to throw it all away. It wasn't the first time Zolf had nothing to lose. He was born to a simple Ura couple who didn't last long before plague took him. He grew up hungry in the tunnels of the Tazzle terminals, so he took to stealing from a Ceylonian missionary living there.
Se matar eles antes. Se matar eles antes, eles pensar e tirar é muito melhor.
He once got sloppy with his thieving hands. The missionary caught him, but didn't rat him out. Instead, he offered to take him in. That missionary raised Zolf like a gentleman, like he was his own son. Taught him theology, history, and mercy. passed away, Zulf promised to continue his work to bring about a lasting peace between the Ura and Caelondia. Zulf started teaching the missionaries wisdom to any Ura who would listen, and listen they did.
Os bichos me salvaram, hein?
He advocated tolerance and argued that the Ura should atone for the war. He believed the city had much to teach his people. It's all right.
Eu aperto o shift e ele mira pra puta que pariu.
However, Zulf felt he could only do so much in the Tassel terminals. He needed Caelondia to know the Ura had changed.
A gente tem que levar 3 bazucadas pra morrer.
He decided to do what the missionary did many years before. He left the city of his youth to brave a savage land. The journey was hard, but he knew how to fend for himself. And then at last, Zulf saw the rippling walls on the horizon. He endeared himself to city folk straight away, and in turn he fell in love with the city and its people. One in particular. This young lady was fascinated by the Ura, but she never met anyone like Zulf. She told him she knew all the city's best kept secrets. The Hanging Gardens was their favorite spot. It was there that Zulf clasped her hands and proposed in proper Caelondian style. celebrated with his friends long into the night. Joy and revelry like he'd never seen. Too bad he couldn't remember it all. Don't worry about it. Where is he? He woke up alone underground inside the Esse War Memorial, built like an Uraden. But something was wrong. He emerged from that hole in the ground into a waking nightmare. Everything that wasn't gone was twisted upside down. Frozen, air thick with ash. What few faces he saw on the street stared back at him with gray, vacant eyes.
Sniper, rapaz.
He found his wife-to-be asleep inside her home, but when he reached out to her, she joined with all the ashes in the sky. That story don't end well anyway.
Costinha desgraçado, cara. Puta que puta, mas voltou. Que desgraça, mulher.
Once the kid gets that last shard from Zolf, it'll all be over.
Caralho, tamanho do lugar, tio. Primeiro? Uma coisa.
The Mancers, they knew everything, even if it cost them.
Ele dá mais dano. Pega esse.
First step to learning the Calamity Cannon is knowing about the machinery overrides.
Acho que se lançar mais rápido é bom.
Now, who would have taught a kid to do a thing like that?
Let's go, beat. Let's go. Claro que estou.
I can't hear him at all anymore. He's too far away. But he'll be alright. Got his lifelong friend to keep him company.
Caralho, o bagulho tá muito bom agora. Ele sai muito rápido.
The Calamity hit the Tazzle terminals hardest of all. You know why Zolf went back there. The place was his home. All his old friends and family were there. Zolf must be there all alone, just waiting. You know what's funny? Well,
Isso é muito chato. Isso é muito rápido.
look around. There's not much left to do here in the Bastion, I'm afraid. So why not tell each other stories to pass the time, right?
O cara tomou um counter tão forte ali que ele morreu.
But Zia, there's another reason I've been telling you all this. that shard, the Bastion will be complete. This disease the Earth planet here will go away. Zealandia will be whole again.
Era pra ele, o burro. Meu Deus, os caras têm lepra.
Everything will be back to normal. Everyone will be alright.
O cara tá aqui no escudo e não virar o cara.
Problem is, we'll all be gone. But we're not gonna die. It's more like all of this will just stop. Things will go back to the way they used to be. That's the power of the Bastion. This whole place is a living record of the times before the calamity. The way things were before this story. Good times, right?
Eita porra, hein?
You'll be your old self again. Think of all those times that didn't go your way. Setbacks. Imagine if you could have another go at them.
Live snakes.
You follow me? No mistakes. Anyone you've ever hurt. Everything you've ever done. You could do it over.
Caralho, tinha que
And
matar
wouldn't that be grand?
os
Wouldn't you
bichos, quebrar os
agree?
obstáculos.
Come on, keep your chin up. Well, I guess there's nothing more to say.
Marasim, está certo. Lá vem agora. Está certo.
Who am I kidding?
Os caras botam um bagulho de mira automática que não funciona.
Look. There's something else. A confession. How come I know so much about the Bastion?
Ah, é.
Well, I designed the place, but that's beside the point. There's one problem with a place that sets things back to a bygone time. You can't test it. So you're probably wondering if the calamity happened already. What's to stop it from happening again after the Bastion does its thing? The answer is... I don't know.
Também não sei.
You're wondering if there ain't some other way out of this mess. It's all right. I can tell. But why would you even want another way? Unless you wanted to stay here with us.
Amor.
Well, that's sweet and all, but I don't know if I can stick around.
Vem cá, Pokémon, segue. Siga.
The weight of the calamity.
Meu
It's on our
Deus.
shoulders. We can't just let it go.
Cara, que ignorância.
Bastion does have another function. Strictly speaking, if ever the monument blew out and we couldn't repair it, we could still evacuate. First, we'd round up as many folks as we could carry.
Caralho.
Next, we'd detonate the cores and we'd take off away from here.
Uma lapada só.
Of course, that would mean no going back. Ever. But then again, that way all of us could leave the city. Together.
Eu vou caminhar com mais girombas lá em cima do ombro.
You know Zolf and his countrymen won't be giving up that shard without a fight, don't you?
Se ficar easy. Só que parece que ele tá num
Zolf
cagado.
and the Ura. All they want now is to see the Bastion fall. Zolf dedicated his life to lasting peace between the Ura and Caelondia.
Pass this up.
He can't have imagined the city would try to wipe the Ura out. Zolf ain't lost every shred of decency though, has he? He tried to warn you about his plans. He tried to warn the kid. For Zolf, this ain't a personal matter. It ain't a simple matter of pride either. One thing's for sure, the Ura can't be happy that the kid followed Zolf all the way home.
Ah, vai, passinhos curtos. Caraca. Abandonar o corpo de Zulf. Seguir adiante. Abandonar The Battery Han e pegar o corpo do Zulf. Ah, não. Sinto muito.
Kid saves Zolf once, but I don't think he'd make the same mistake. I wouldn't.
Sinto muito. Vou ficar com a minha giromba aqui do lado do ombro.
Don't you worry though. Once the Bastions